What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Blizzness, episode 106.
106. Car. Because you said game on.
I said game on before we were recording. Yeah. I mean, we're always recording, but that's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Yep.
And we segue right out of the gate.
Yeah. Right out of the gate.
All right. Well, we're missing a certain someone.
Feel smaller. Or normal size. I feel normal size.
Yeah, I feel back to normal. Yeah. But we got a lot of great comments. Everybody loved him.
What am I, chopped liver?
Everybody wants him back. Whatever, people. We had a great episode.
Can you do the voice one more time?
Okay. Everybody. I want to do the screechy one I was doing prior to starting our recording.
Nice.
But I won't. I'll keep it nice. Anyway, thanks to T-Tom, T-Top, Top Dog, Big Guy, all of the names that he's got, Tyrell Thompson, for joining us on episode 105. We had a lot of fun with him. He was very natural in just in everything that he did, how he came forth with questions and how he answered our questions. So it was great. It was definitely the longest episode we've ever had.
And thank you to Creative Edge and Edge VR for making all episodes of Strictly Blizzness possible, and
Werner Electric.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even the longest one.
Even the longest one. We probably paid double for that one.
Yeah. Put it on my tab.
Yeah. They're even laughing back there. That's
John,
funny.
can you fix this video? Put it on my tab.
I've seen your tab, just so you know.
Great.
So we have some stuff to talk about.
Bum, bum, bum. I call it the end.
It really was. It was the end of a lot of things. So we played our final game. Not our finest hour by any stretch. I think, and I get it when a team, and I feel this was part of our issue, when a team is in that state where there's no playoff hope, they know their season is done, I don't think they rally like they normally could or should. And, you know, even though it was our last game, what guys don't realize is when you're in that down and out is when a lot of people look to see what you can do, right?
Sure.
You are auditioning for next year. You are setting the pace for what you're going to do next. And so if you lay a giant turd on the field,
that might be one of the best things said in 100+ episodes.
That's what's going to...
And that's saying a lot.
That's your future. So look at me, all philosophical.
Wow. We got a weird high-pitched voice. We're laying turds. It is off to the races this morning.
It's quite the Monday. I have so much stuff going on this week, I can't even think straight. But then we had other upsets. I mean, we can talk about our game. Do you want to talk about our game?
I mean, I caught the half of it with you guys, and then I went to sleep. Okay. Not because I don't watch our games, because I played guitar the next day.
Yeah.
So.
I actually left right after halftime because I told everyone at the watch party, let me leave and everything will change. And they did score right after I left, so I was right, but then could not make up the difference. And it wasn't, Tucson's a good team, and I said it on our last show, you have to be careful because they're very consistent, they're very thorough, they just keep moving the ball, and they did that. They kept rushing and it was working. Why waste the time with their quarterback? You know, his arm needs to be fresh for the next couple of weeks. But we just couldn't perform, and we had some mishaps on the field that, we were trading off quarterbacks. I don't know that I agree with that. I get it. It was the last game, so you want to give Jerome a little bit of playing time. But I think that ruins the momentum. And neither quarterback could get their momentum going because they knew they were going to leave after anything transpired on the field. So it was not our best effort. I'll put it that way. Some of the things on the field, people losing their temper, in order for the IFL, and I'm saying this to all teams, this is not just our team and not just our players. If you guys want to be looked at as significant players that could play across the street, that crap has got to stop. Losing your temper on, off the field, at your bench, in a ref's face, in a fellow player's face. There's no time for that. And we're not hockey. We don't want to see people break out into fights on the field.
Right.
Maybe some of the fans do, but as owners, that's not what we're looking to portray. It makes us look like a bush league. It really does. So if you want, I can rant about that for a little bit, but I'm not going to. I'll keep it very low key. So I was disappointed in our behavior on the field, both athletically as well as emotionally, if you will. But in general, the game it did not look good. We did not perform well. So
some things shifted pretty drastically on our side of the bracket, though. That was crazy.
Yes, so. It was like all of a sudden, if we had won that game, the one game.
Tulsa got somebody like we knew they would, and it happened to be Quad Cities,
which was fabulous.
Which slid them to the 4th seed,
right,
because Quad Cities now goes to Frisco, and then Sioux Falls got Mass. So we see that exact game again this weekend in Sioux Falls.
Right.
So
right, yeah, that's
Riggs and Lorenzo, who have been staples in the indoor game for years, are trying to ride off into the sunset the right way,
and
which I'm
that
rooting
would be
for
great.
them. So that is cool to have a career that long and have impacted the game. So that's awesome. I'm looking forward to that one. So
that'll be the game I'll be watching for sure. And it's time. Riggs has been in the playoffs, but hasn't taken home a trophy in a little while. So I agree. It'd be kind of cool to see Sioux Falls and Arizona in that championship game.
One more time, because that was the championship game when Arizona came into the league.
Yeah.
Was Riggs the best of the IFL versus the best of the former AFL their first year in.
Right.
So, yep.
Right. It would be kind of cool to see that. Well, let's cross our fingers and toes to see if they can pull that off.
Yeah.
What else in IFL world?
Kevin hosts the game, which is not a surprise to many people.
Yeah,
so, congrats, Kevin. So,
yes.
Yep.
And that was his 250th win as a coach.
Wow.
250 games.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess, as Larry would say, he must be long in the tooth then, because that's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games.
So congrats, Kevin. That's pretty cool.
Is there any IFL news? You talked a little bit about that combine before the championship game, so I think we already unpacked that. But.
Yeah, no, we're getting ready for the owners' meeting. So there's really a lot of prep work that goes into that. We're gathering up what we're going to talk about. We only have a few hours together, so this isn't like the big impactful meeting, but we want to recap the season. We want to go over some things that probably have to get looked at. One of the things, and I know in our game, and the announcers were debating over it and wanted to go back and look at it, was the fan interference that happened with a cameraman on the field. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not.
Fan interference has become a bigger and bigger thing, and we have stuff in our operations manual, but nothing in real detail. So we are going to be talking about that and talking about those cameramen that are on the field. Not everybody does that, where they're actually shooting video on the field. Sure. He was definitely in the mix of where Jerome could go. And so I think that, from a safety perspective, but also just from a flow of the game perspective, it did interrupt it. Did it deserve a flag? I don't know.
Some days I'd like to throw a flag on Creative Edge. Boom. I don't know how that's relevant. Go on, Kathy.
I'm going to throw a challenge flag on that. Where did that come from? What the heck? Did you just feel it a little sassy today?
I was, yes,
what?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so those are some topics that I think we need to discuss, and like always, we want to have our coaches get together, and the coaches have things to discuss. The inconsistencies of our refs is probably number one on our list. It's tough to find refs to do our games, and as we get deeper and deeper into the summer, that becomes more and more difficult. We have pockets of great refs, but expecting them to fly all over the country to do the games is difficult, and just it's not realistic. So
what's the timing in Vegas this year? Is it with that combine in play? Will owners be at combine, or that's right when you're doing your meeting?
No, owners are. I wanted to do the combine just to see it.
Yeah.
But no, the owners will be meeting during the combine. So we're meeting on Friday. I don't know when, because Todd has requested that all head coaches be there.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a coaches meeting or when there's the coaches meeting. Saturday obviously is the game, and it's an afternoon game.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you corral a bunch of head coaches back together after a game like that. But we'll see. We'll see what Todd has in store. Maybe they're meeting that morning.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's the IFL.
Yeah. What else you got? I feel like every other episode, one of us asks that question.
What else?
Whose turn is it to ask that question?
You gotta change your voice a little bit when you do that.
You do it in the high pitch voice?
No, I'm not.
Fair enough.
What else do I have? So I will say, today, well, this is aired on Wednesday, so Monday, 2 days ago, we got to say goodbye to all of our players. Our formal say la vie till next year kind of thing. And then we start, from a football perspective, rebuilding the team, figuring out who's going to sign to come back, who are we having back, who's ready to be done with the game. Kind of like Tyrell was talking about. Yeah. Is he done? Well, we don't know. Would he coach? We don't know. Making sure we have our coaches for next year and who they might be. Will there be a shift in, who our supporting coaches are? All of that still has to get worked out. So
got it.
Yeah.
Movie Land?
Let's go to Movie Land.
Movie Land. We saw one.
We did, and we had a special guest at the movie.
We did.
Yes.
Someone else that stays up way too late.
Yes. It was none other than Mr. Creative Edge. Edge PR. Okay, maybe they can get you some. Maybe they can get you some special effects or something.
That's great. Yeah.
Movie was great. So let's talk about it. We went to see Mission Impossible, technically 7.
Yes.
Which is
7 part 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, prelude to 8.
Yeah.
Fabulous movie. I highly recommend it. So we're sitting there, and I was very disappointed in my cohort here because I'm looking at this woman going, where do we know her from? What was she in?
Yeah, that was me.
Come on.
My bad.
One of my favorite characters.
Yeah. And Sean got the other one before I even did. I was a mess, apparently.
Yeah, you must have been tired.
That was full of former Marvel stars and current Marvel stars.
Yes, so the one that because until you told me the other one, I went, wait a minute, that is not her. And then I went, oh, it is her. Yep. I did not know this. Agent Carter, the actress that played Agent Carter in the Marvel show that was that on Disney or was that on?
It was on when ABC and Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D. were around. Now it's on Disney, but yes.
Yeah, but you can see it on, it was part of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. grouping, we'll say, which was phenomenal. So she was in it, and then Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy was in there, and again, go see it and see if you can don't cheat, go see it and then see if you can figure out which one is Mantis. Because that was great makeup that they did in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, Sean was
like, I think it is. I'm like, no. And then another scene came on. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's her.
Certain features or shifts of her head, then I could see it. But at first, I did not see it at all. It's got the usual antics of the faces that peel off and all of that good stuff. Great action. A train scene that is like none other. Hats off to Tom Cruise. He's in his 60s and he's still doing his own stunts. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was great. I thought it was outstanding. So
good storyline. It was, and it fits with today's world and the introduction of AI and what AI could mean to us and to our world. So
yeah, it was really cool. So, and I think a movie like views differently too when you know it's part 1 too. It wasn't like all this other stuff like Fast 10 we saw where I'm like, oh man, like it was a pretty clean ending, and you're like, okay, that's gonna be insane when they finish. So,
yeah. This one, 2 hours and 45 minutes, but none of us got up.
Nope.
To go to the bathroom. So that's how, sometimes when you're like, yeah, I could go, but yeah, this is a good part to leave. There was none of that. It was nonstop, which was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And we have another one coming up this week, which we're excited to see. And I want to talk about just history in general. So we're going to go see Oppenheimer. And those of you that know about it, there have been so many mixed reviews about this because people are walking out of the theater going, that was so horrible. Not the acting, but is this a true story? Oh my gosh. Do any of you open up a history book? Yes, this is an actual, I'm sure they took a little bit of license to make it theatrically strong, but this stuff happened. There's too many people now that think that things like the Holocaust wasn't real. World War II wasn't that bad. You need to start talking to your elders. You need to start talking to, and there's less and less of them around now, but we seem to lose sight. And I'm one of those people that say this. Every third generation, we're repeating stuff because we are not paying attention to what happened before us. And people, we are right back there again. So I'm not saying the Holocaust is coming, but there's genocide happening all the time. And sometimes you hear about it, you hear flashes of it. We have other things that we battle that, quite honestly, you could parallel to something that happened in history. But it's like we aren't listening to what people have told us because we're going to figure it out ourselves, and then we're back in the same boat. And then our generations that come after us are going to experience the same thing. So as a people, we have to change our ways.
Pay attention.
Pay attention, people. Get your acts together, will you?
Yep.
So
another 3 hour.
This one is true 3 hour movie. Yep. And unfortunately, because we're going a little earlier, we're sitting in the second row. So there'll be a lot of this. Because everything else was packed.
Yeah.
So, unless you want to go at 9.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So we're going at 7.
Go see Barbie as well.
We will be going to see Barbie as well.
It looks outstanding.
There are so many great actors in that. Even if it's a flop, which I doubt it will be, I love her as Barbie. And even Ken, all of the different Kens that are going to be in there, but the Ken. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, great summer of movies, and they need it on the cusp of us writers and actor strike. So
between the Writers Guild and the SAG decision to follow suit, it could be very, very dry come next spring because that's really how long it takes for that to affect.
Right.
But if you look on Netflix and everything, you see all these older things coming back that they're trying to get you to watch, and it's like because nothing new is on the horizon.
They'll still release anything that's finished, right?
They will.
They just won't anything that's not finished. To respect to the writers and the actors,
Correct.
They will not go to edit or right.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So let's get that over with, people.
Yep.
Let's work out whatever we got to work out there. And
for sure.
Do you know what they're fighting for?
I don't this time.
Is it just wages?
I think it's
wages
for the writers, right? I mean, do you guys know back there?
Wages and
behind
or benefits.
Yeah.
So if you guys couldn't hear that, the conglomerate was holding out for the writers to lose their home, and that's when the actors said, "No, we're going to step in." And it's a little bit more than that. Come on, people. And that's just it. It's billions and billions of dollars that's pastime for so many people. Whether you're watching it while it's streaming, whether it's podcasts, it doesn't matter. There's so many different avenues that these writers infiltrate. So this is a big deal. It's a very big deal from an entertainment perspective. So, I hope one day to be part of that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Totally different industry, but I mean, I think as streaming changed things and getting a piece of when things stream, I watched Air because it's on Prime, the Jordan story, and it's pretty insane, right? Because he was the first ever to get a piece of every shoe sold, and I just look at the same thing, and like it was an incredible movie. Again, it's Affleck and Damon hanging out for 2 hours again to each other, but yeah, it was
they always do
really good movie. Yeah.
I didn't see Affleck in any of the previews that I saw. I only saw Matt Damon.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But I'll have to check it out. I've been watching Sulphur Springs myself.
Oh, is that the Disney one?
Yeah, I just love that
there's
show.
There's not episodes of that, is there?
Well, I was watching season 3 because
got it.
season 4 is going to be coming out, and my husband was like, he sat down on the couch and he turns around and looks at me and says, "The stuff you watch, Blondie." I just went, I think it's cute. Yep. It's a kid's show.
Laura loves that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's great. It's a time travel kind of thing,
Yep.
so it's very cool. Anyway, I think that's all I have for
That's
today.
what I got too.
All right.
Well, stay tuned. Thank you for an amazing season. Watch for Strictly throughout the summer and for Inside the IFL stuff.
Yeah, we haven't decided yet if we'll bring you anything next week or how we're going to do this. Yep. We'll definitely not go away. You know, we're not going to go away until next season. We just haven't decided if it'll be weekly or every other week for a little while. But I think with the championship game coming up and some of the things happening as far as who's going, where, check out the IFL website because everything is posted there as to who's playing whom, the times of the games. Check all of that out for this coming weekend.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I'm glad I'm not in their shoes. Like Tucson is going out to Bay Area. So she's had to book flights at the last minute, which going out to California is not cheap. Granted, she's closer to California than we would be, but those last minute flights that's a lot of cash that you got to fork out.
Yeah, and I had before you got there on Saturday night, I asked your husband, so would you rather, there's a question for you as we wrap it too, so would you rather play Kevin Guy or not have to take that flight, right? Because if Tucson loses that game against us, they're a different seed, right? So it's, do you want to play Kevin at home or you go right down the road, right? So instead of going to Bay Area, like if they're the 4 seed, they're going right down the road to Arizona instead of flying to Bay Area, right? So that was that game affected that.
She's gonna if she plays, if she wins, she's facing Kevin anyway. So
then your husband, for the first time ever, he's like, "Well, as an owner, I think I just want to drive down the road to Kevin, but I don't know if I want to play Kevin round 1." So
I don't want it to be over right away. Well, and playing in his house, so home field advantage for a playoff is huge.
Yep.
So I wouldn't want to play in his house.
No. Yep.
I'd book the flight to feel more alive before I go down the road and play in his house. So. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I got.
That's all I have.
Is it that time?
It's that time.
Should we hit him with it?
Let's hit him with it.
Go Blizz. Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.